Good Monday evening, everyone. We are tracking Hurricane Milton that is bearing down on the Yucatan Peninsula right now, and then it's going to be moving up towards Florida as we go towards the middle of the week. If you're just now joining us, please click that thumbs up button, share this with your friends and family, comment where you're from, and hit that subscribe button. It's like liking a page on Facebook. Click all notifications. You'll be notified every time we go live or post videos over on YouTube as well. If you're joining us on YouTube and not on our Facebook page, you can go over to Facebook, click on Snowbird Bob over there, type in Snowbird Bob, give us a follow over there. We have continuous updates over there on that page as well. All right, let's go over the latest National Hurricane Center, the 10 p.m. update. This thing has made it into the top 5 record territory of lowest pressures ever for a hurricane in the Atlantic Basin. Let's go over that really quick. All right, we're going to go over, here's all the records here. So Wilma, back in 2005, hit 882 millibars. That's number 1 on the list. Gilbert, 888 millibars. Number 3, the Labor Day hurricane in 1935. This is before they named any storms. 892 millibars. Rita, 2005, 895. Milton got into the top 5 today. Got down to 897. It's getting a little bit closer to land now in the Yucatan. Plus, it's basically undergoing a little bit of more restructuring, eye wall replacement. And when that eye wall replacement happens, this storm, as it starts going more northeast, is going to double in size, which means the wind field is going to get bigger, and that means more surge, more issues, and basically the whole Florida peninsula is under the gun here for some very rough weather as we go forward. This center of hurricane is basically bearing down on the Tampa area as of right now. That is where we think most likely the center circulation will go. Let's take a look at the latest from National Hurricane Center. All right, here is the latest as of 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. It is down from 180 miles per hour down to 165 because the pressures have went up a little bit more contact with some land down here towards the Yucatan Peninsula. Plus, it's undergoing somewhat of an eye wall replacement cycle. And once that occurs, this thing is going to get larger as we go into tomorrow night and into Wednesday. And like I said, this thing looks small now, but it's going to double in size as we go into Wednesday. All right. So 165 now is expected to stay at Cat 5 all the way through possibly Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning, and possibly slowly starting to feel those effects of that little bit more drier air and the shear up here across this north central Gulf of Mexico. But models have been, you might as well just throw them out because this thing has overproduced this whole time, and we were expecting this with the conditions that were in the southwest parts of the Gulf of Mexico. We were expecting this thing to really blow up over 2 days. Very rapid strengthening. Seems like 2 days ago, this wasn't even a tropical depression, and now we're dealing with a major Cat 5 hurricane that hit 180 miles per hour sustained winds today with gusts up to 225 miles an hour at peak today with pressures of 897 millibars. That's this unbelievable amount of strength it has done over the past, just the past 24 hours. And the eye wall was only about 5 to maybe 6 miles wide at one point. So it was a very tight, small storm, but it could really gain strength. These smaller storms can really gain strength quickly. But like I said, once it starts feeling the effects of that shear up here north central Gulf, and then it goes through an eye wall replacement cycle tonight, it's gonna hit this basically very warm stream of water that basically comes around Cuba here and then heads up through the Keys and basically creates the Gulf Stream up the eastern seaboard. So it's going to be very, very warm waters. I think this thing is not done intensifying. I think it's going to go through kind of a lull period, and then as it starts pushing away from the Yucatan Peninsula here and gets over that very warm stream of water here, basically, like I said, hooks around Cuba right here, and then comes back towards the Keys and then up the East Coast. It's going to go over that tomorrow evening and into Wednesday. So I think this thing's going to, like I said, kind of calm down for a little bit. Not really calm. It's still going to maintain probably a Cat 5 and then double in size, and then it's going to come over that very, very warm, basically, stream of water coming around Cuba, and I think this thing may have a chance to blow up once again before it starts feeling more effects of the shear and the drier air to the north, which will slowly start weakening it as it heads towards Florida. Now, this cone here is only where the center of circulation is going to go. There's going to be a wide range of effects across all of Florida, all of the Florida Peninsula here, even all the way up towards even parts of Georgia, even all the way down towards the Keys. The whole Florida Peninsula is going to get affected. Like I said, this thing is going to double in size over the next day and a half or so, and it's going to be remarkably different as we head towards landfall, okay, which is going to affect the surge and everything else, okay? So the surge will probably come up probably more than what the values are saying right now. I think they're a little bit conservative, but it's still going to be, it's still a nasty scenario, and you need to listen to local officials. They're telling you to get out. You need to get out if you possibly can. I know there's a lot of gas stations are running out of gas, etc. It's just a really bad situation ongoing in Florida as of right now. All right, let's take a look at the other latest information here. All right, here is the National Hurricane Center graphic, basically showing where it's at right now. 165 mile per hour sustained winds moving east at 9. It's going to be more of an east-northeasterly track as we go into late Tuesday into Wednesday. It's still going to make landfall at least of a Cat 3. I would prepare for a Cat 5 and hope for a Cat 2, but prepare for the worst and hope for the best. You got hurricane warnings all the way across the west central Gulf Coast of Florida here, all the way inland, almost all the way across to the other side of the peninsula on the east side. So basically from Florida West Coast, from Bonita Beach northward to the mouth of the Swanee River, including the Tampa Bay area. I think this goes over towards Orlando under a hurricane warning. Rest of the peninsula, basically south all the way down to almost the Keys, all the way across the Florida Peninsula to the East Coast. I think it's including Jacksonville now. You're under hurricane watch. Tropical storm watches are parts of the northern parts of the state in the yellow here. All the way, tropical storm watches across the Georgia coast here up to South Carolina coast as well. And then over towards the south eastern parts of Florida as well. Tropical storm warnings in the blue, of course, all the way through the Florida Keys. Tropical storm warnings are in effect just south of this hurricane warning, but they're still under hurricane watch at the same time. And then hurricane warnings all the way up, tropical storm warnings all the way up, basically from Lake Okeechobee, Florida West Coast, from Flamingo to south of Bonita Beach as well, and then north of the mouth of the Swanee River to Indian Pass as well. All right, so there's the latest watches and warnings as of right now. We need to go over surge values. I have a couple more graphics to show you as well. All right, let's go over storm surge now. Storm surge warnings basically from Cedar Key down to Tampa, Cape Coral. Let's see, a few other things here. West coast of Florida from Flamingo northward to Swanee River, including Charlotte Harbor and Tampa Bay. Like I just said, this is tropical or storm surge warning. Storm surge watches are Sebastian Inlet to Ernesto Beach, including St. John's River up towards Jacksonville, and Savannah, Georgia, just southeast of there as well. So how much storm surge is coming in? Let's take a look at that. All right, peak storm surge here. Basically, Anacloke River, Florida to Inglewood, Florida, 10 to 15 feet of surges, including Tampa Bay as well, 10 to 15 feet. So this will be the biggest surge probably Tampa Bay has ever gotten if this happens. So you need to listen to local authorities. They're telling you to get out. You need to get out, okay? Because this is not something you need to play with across this area. You're going to have 10 to 15 feet of surge on top of normally dry ground, and then you're going to have wave action on top of that. So it's just going to be very devastating across this area. Okay, so Inglewood, Florida to Bonita Beach, 6 to 10 feet. Charlotte Harbor, 6 to 10 feet. Yankeetown, Florida to Anaclote River, 5 to 10 feet. Bonita Beach to Chokoloskee, Florida, 4 to 7 feet. Swanee River to Yankeetown, 3 to 5 feet. Choloskee to Flamingo, 3 to 5 feet. Flagler, Volusia County line to Guatemala Sound in Georgia, 3 to 5 feet. Sebastian Inlet, Florida to Flagler, Volusia County line, 2 to 4 feet. Guatemala Sound, Georgia to Modesto Beach in South Carolina, 2 to 4 feet of storm surge. Dry Tortugas, 2 to 4 feet. And St. Johns River, 2 to 4 feet of surge. Like I said before, the deepest water will occur along the immediate coast near and to the south of the landfall location, where the surge will be accompanied by large and dangerous waves. Surge-related flooding depends on the relative timing of the surge and the tidal cycle, and can vary greatly over short distances. All right, so there's going to be huge swells with this thing. I saw some models showing 50 to 60 foot waves over parts of the Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to be those swells are going to be heading in every single direction across parts of the Gulf, even up here towards parts of, the Panhandle up here towards, Alabama. They're going to start getting some swells off this thing as well, so some beach erosion could occur, rip tides, stuff like that, and it's going to occur over here on the east side as well, probably up here towards North Carolina, South Carolina as well, as this thing comes across the peninsula and moves its way basically out to sea. So there's going to be another side of this as well. Tornadoes. There's going to be tornadoes possible across central and southern Florida. Tuesday night through Wednesday, there's probably going to be a tornado watch. There's going to be a lot of spin-up tornadoes come through here. Rainfall. Let's go over rainfall. All right, rainfall. Rainfall amounts of 5 to 10 inches with localized totals of up to 15 inches are possible across parts of the Florida Peninsula through Thursday. This rainfall brings a risk of considerable flash urban and aerial flooding, along with moderate to major river flooding. This is the freshwater side of this. Now we're going to have significant surge on top of that. That's going to push water back into the rivers, and so basically the fresh water cannot come out. The surge is coming in. It's just not a good scenario at all. Now, Milton will also produce rainfall totals of 4 to 7 inches across the Florida Keys through Thursday. In addition, rainfall amounts of 2 to 4 inches, while isolated totals around 6 are expected across the northern portions of the Yucatan Peninsula as well. Like I said, this Hurricane Milton is going to basically, like I said, it's encountering some land right now, which is helping the pressures to go up just a little bit. And then it's undergoing basically an eye wall replacement, which is going to make this storm probably a little bit bigger and then probably double in size over the next 36 hours. And then, like I said, we have this basically hook current that comes up across Cuba, comes up towards the Central Gulf here, then hooks back towards the Keys and then up the East Coast. This system is going to go over that basically very, very warm waters of this current. And I think that's where it'll strengthen again before it starts feeling the effects of this trough and the shear and the drier air just to the north. So, like I said, this thing has a chance to strengthen further after it kind of goes through a little bit of a lull over the next, 20, it's probably 12 to 16 hours or so before it hits this major current, very pumping up this very probably more hotter than bath water that normally we would sit in across this area, and then just blow up again. It has a chance to do that. So landfall at least a Cat 3. I would prepare for a Cat 5 before if you're not evacuated yet. Prepare for a Cat 5. And then hope for a 2. That's basically, that's anything anything that's happening towards Florida right now is just nothing but bad news, and I do apologize. But we've been saying this since March. It's going to be a very active season. It started out with a bang, kind of went south. We basically didn't get anything from July to August, and then here we are, September to October, basically peak season now over the last month, and it's went freaking crazy across the Gulf into the Caribbean and parts of the Atlantic. All right, peak wind threat. Anything in the basically pinkish, purplish area, just north of Naples here, up towards Tampa Bay, inland, of course, into this central peninsula here. 110 plus mile per hour winds is possible. And then as you go all the way through the peninsula, all the way over towards Daytona Beach, 74 to 110 mile per hour winds are possible. And then even up here towards Jacksonville, we could see 58 to 74. This is the peak winds. That could be happening. Naples over towards just basically north of Miami, 58 to 74 mile per hour winds. South of there towards Miami, all the way towards the southern parts of Florida, 39 to 58 miles per hour. Even up towards Tallahassee could see a wind gust of upwards of 58 miles per hour as well. Charleston, South Carolina could see a gust maybe upwards of 39, 40 miles an hour. Up that way along the coast of Georgia, maybe upwards of 58 miles an hour. So this is a very nasty situation coming in over the Florida Peninsula. All right, listen to local officials. We'll have continuous updates on Facebook throughout the day tomorrow and have another video as we go into tomorrow night over on YouTube. So like I said, please hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. Give us a like give us a follow over on Facebook as well. We will be continuously giving you updates on the latest on Milton. Please stay safe out there, and please listen to local officials. They tell you to get out, you need to get out.